Hi everyone, and welcome to another installment of Dublin Tech Talks. As always, we're brought to you with the support of Icon Accounting. If you don't know, Icon Accounting are a really well-established provider of all sorts of services to independent technology contractors. Been doing it for years, know what they're talking about. So if you need services like that, you should check them out. I'm joined today by Lorraine Higgins. Lorraine Higgins is Chief Executive of Digital Business Ireland. DBI is a not-for-profit representative body really focused on promoting and enhancing the benefits of any business really with a digital footprint. So really keen to hear about their mission, their purpose, and Lorraine's background. So Lorraine, good morning or good afternoon to the stage. How are you?
I'm good, David. Thank you.
Look, thanks a million for joining us. What we're hoping to do today is just raise the profile of DBI a bit. And I guess to lead into that, would you like to just maybe tell us about yourself and how you've ended up with the business?
Yeah, so I'm CEO of Digital Business Ireland, and digital business, e-commerce, online. They were all things that I was very passionate about when I was CEO of a retail representative body. And at that time, I could see where sales were going. More and more people, consumers, were migrating to online because of the ease in which you can buy something. It's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week shop. And people were becoming increasingly time poor, and the opportunity online presented was quite large to retailers. So with that in mind, I had investigated all possibilities of potentially setting up a standalone representative body that would cater to the needs of the sector and that would be quite visionary in terms of what I wanted to achieve. But I put those plans on hold for a number of years and I still couldn't get it out of my head. And I decided last October that was it. I was going to revisit it and I was going to try and get a few more like-minded people around the table who were interested in this sector as well. So I reached out to a number of people, Victor Timon of Lewis Silkin Lawyers, David Campbell of Flexify, and I spoke at length to them in terms of what I was thinking of doing and also to get a sense check to figure out whether I was absolutely mad or whether this was a good idea. And to be fair to the guys, they really encouraged me, as did the other members of the advisory council that we managed to put together. There are 15 others on that committee, and they basically drive the future of the organization and what our intentions are from a lobbying perspective, from research insights, advocacy, training events, and so on. So it's a really exciting time for us. We built it quite quickly. Basically, we kicked off in October. We were ready to go with our first event in February, which had been backed by a national bank. And we brought in an advisor from the United Nations and World Trade Organization to talk to people about the possibilities that existed for Irish businesses online post-Brexit. Here we are in COVID. We anticipated that happening in the middle. But sometimes from huge setbacks come great opportunities. And for DBI in particular, I think that's been very much the case.
Absolutely. Do you mind me asking, like, fundamentally, Lorraine, what was the white space you saw in terms of the gap in representation?
Yeah, so good question, David. I think a lot of the existing representative bodies were kind of focused on the main issues that were confronting bricks and mortar businesses. And we saw that there was no kind of streamlined approach to just online, just digital. And we decided that there was an opportunity there to fill that space. Now, we did expect that it would take a long time trying to convince businesses as to, the benefits of online and why it was essential to have a representative body like that, or rather. And we thought it was going to be a slow burn, but we were obviously surprised with everything, as everyone else has been, with the COVID-19 pandemic and how that escalated interest in online as businesses pivoted to have a digital footprint.
So I guess the paradigm has shifted, right, from even 18, 12 months ago, just in terms of, not only bricks and mortar businesses looking to pivot, as you say, and get an online presence, but then equally companies who are trading and, with just that kind of mass adoption or increase in people just, defaulting to an online channel. So are both strands something that you can help people with? What's your typical member profile?
Yeah, our typical member profile is atypical, if that's the answer. So basically, we do have businesses from right across the spectrum, every sector: retail, hospitality, agribusiness, technology, professional services. Basically, any business that uses online to approximate their goods and services, they're part of our membership. So we see an opportunity for supporting them more and more in terms of logistics, payments, digital marketing, digital sales, and helping them with compliance. So from a cybersecurity point of view, from a GDPR point of view, and through our network of committees within the organisation, we try and support those businesses that are part of our community as best we can and try and lobby and affect change at governmental level. And we have a number of successes in that regard. Over COVID-19, we put together a submission for government whereby we had 5 proposals that we wanted to see them introduce to help businesses who are making that jump to online and digital. And thankfully, government took on board 3 of those. So that proved, I suppose, our effectiveness as lobbyists essentially for the sector quickly, and businesses were grateful for that. So we are claiming a little bit of credit in terms of the digital trading online voucher. We had proposed that government should fully fund it, 90% of it. So we think that was a great move and insightful move by government at the time.
And just in case people aren't aware, if as you rightly said, sometimes out of these types of crises, lots of innovation happens. We saw that after the 2008 financial crisis. So just if people aren't aware, what is that digital voucher? And if somebody has an idea, perhaps they found themselves in work circumstances that they hadn't predicted, but they do have an idea and they do see some potential. Well, what can that help with?
Yeah, so essentially you can apply for a digital trading online voucher through your local enterprise office. The amount is €2,500. It's now funded to the tune of 90%, which is substantial. And you can use a third of that voucher for the purposes of digital marketing of your goods and services online. So it's a really, really good thing. Unfortunately, and this will be part of our next lobbying expedition, getting a fully functioning e-commerce website that can take payments and process orders on them cost in excess of €2,500. Yeah. So budget 2021, we'll be looking to see that increase substantially in order to try and accommodate businesses. But it is really important, and I can't stress this enough, that businesses would have a footprint online, that they would have their digital business card, if you like, however basic their website is. So avail of that voucher, because so many of your customers are on social media sites. They want to know more about your business before they purchase a good or product. And we've seen in particular in relation to the retail industry, how much that's changing. People are no longer frequenting shops. Social distancing requirements and public health requirements are such that, they're not going in the same numbers as they have done before. And that's why online has become more important than ever before.
And so I guess you mentioned that atypical customer, but so it extends to companies in their infancy from a digital perspective, but then also companies who perhaps, have a nice, public face, but don't have the infrastructure and components to be able to really maximize the return on trade through that channel, is it?
Yeah, very much so. It's almost become manna from heaven online, in the sense that it's able to help businesses sustain, I guess, their digital footfall at least, if not build on it over this time. So it's important that businesses do have that presence in order to offset the kind of losses that they've had in physical footprint in their stores.
So apart from that really practical and infrastructure-led kind of support, is there a community element around this as well, where, as part of being part of DBI, there's a kind of a membership culture attached to that also?
Yes, absolutely. So we kicked off, as I said, in January and started recruiting members, and we managed to build that to 3,400 of a small and medium enterprise community. What we do is we ensure that we bring insights, research to that community. And we're looking at the moment of having a Cyber Week course that will bring more key learnings for businesses who want to prepare themselves for Cyber Week and Black Friday rather, and Cyber Monday in November and December. So, we're always looking at an eye to the future and how we can assist businesses take advantage of the digital sales that will be happening. We have to remember, over COVID-19, retail sales in particular increased by 200% online over the period, which is a substantial increase, and it's too much for businesses to forgo during this period.
I mean, do you ever, what's the fundamental shift, do you think, in terms of behavior? Now, it's a kind of looking glass stuff, but do you feel that, like all of the other disruption that happened, the consequence on the far side of this will be a much higher kind of footfall online?
Yeah, I suspect online is here to stay. I think canny businesses are upping their game. They're looking at opportunities, beyond their website. They're looking at AI to try and improve the personalization of the experience when somebody lands on their webpage. They're also looking at social commerce. They're looking at digital gift cards that's available across all the social media platforms. So there are so many different vantage points, for your business online, and I guess utilizing them, and a lot of them are free. If you're trying to advertise or market your business and it's bricks and mortar, generally the kind of channels that you would have traditionally used would have been newspaper and radio and so on. But digital allows for a boundaryless nature, I guess, of doing business. You're no longer selling within a geographical area. You can sell to Pedro in Spain and Giovanni in Italy. And that's the great thing about online. And we firmly believe in all the research and insights we've gotten from our partner company, e-commerce Europe. Those sales are just going to continue spiraling upwards. It had been happening already for some time with the younger cohort. People between 16 and 35 had been purchasing in large numbers online. We knew that based on the figures that were coming from the Department of Communications. 21 million was spent every single day online prior to COVID-19 by Irish consumers. And unfortunately, 2/3 of that was leaving the country, which was substantial losses for Irish retailers, and Irish businesses more broadly. But, we would like to see a situation whereby, the broadband infrastructure would improve in this country so that everybody has, a digital opportunity and they're not suffering and being on the wrong side of the digital divide.
And do you feel, can a medium enterprise in Ireland compete with some of those massive online retailers, just in terms of getting their brand and products to customers internationally?
And that's a really fair point, David. Like sometimes you're going out there and people might interpret it as being the Wild West of the digital world. There are ways and means in which you can do that. I mean, there are a number of websites that you can use to get reviews, Trustpilot. You can also get a trust mark from e-commerce Europe, which is recognizable right throughout the member states. In fact, operators in the Netherlands, there's a huge take up of trust marks on their website, so because they see the value of it. There are certain brands in Ireland that are doing really, really well the world over, but without that kind of endorsement in terms of a trust mark, people wouldn't buy on their website because, we know there's been a plethora of fake websites that have been set up over the years. People have been caught. And we have to also acknowledge the fact that 1/3 of all fraud and crime that's carried out now is carried out online. So be more discerning and more canny. And that's why, items and endorsements like a European trust mark is really, really important.
And then I guess in from a practical perspective, what's the process if somebody wants to get involved and be part of your network and your community? And do they have to? Would it be better if they have certain things in order before they get to you guys, or how would that work?
Yeah, so we made a decision at the Advisory Council only recently in order to help businesses get online that we were going to waive membership fees this year. And everybody can just benefit from the insights, the research, the updates that we provide in our newsletter. They come from an Irish perspective, but also from a European perspective. And we also always try to bring the best of trends to the people who are signed up to that newsletter. As I said, membership is free. There's a digital sign-up form on our website. You're welcome to sign up there, or indeed contact me directly, Lorraine of digitalbusiness.ie. You'll see our brochure on our website. And look, we encourage people to get involved and learn from the kind of information that we're disseminating.
Do you have a most common question? What's the most common thing that people come to you with? What's that starting point, do you feel?
I won't say that there's a most common question, but there's the most common interest in digital marketing right now. And while this is arguably being done to death, and we see lots and lots of different organizations doing digital marketing, are putting forward seminars on them, that's definitely an area that people are most interested in. They're not thinking about compliance right now. They're trying to save their business. They're trying to sell and find every avenue that they can to get their goods to the marketplace. And who can blame them right now? So, as I said, we put together a suite of webinars over the last number of months that was focused on digital marketing and digital sales. And again, we'll be trying to equip people in September with the Cyber Week course. Again, looking at the opportunities that exist for businesses and how they can best avail of them.
Good. And then just, you mentioned insights and data. That's part of the service you provide, and giving people a repository that they can go to. Is there anything that stood out for you over the last 4 months in terms of, trends or insights that you're seeing?
Yeah, I mean, very heartening from a budding representative body's point of view was the fact that percent of retail sales were conducted online, or there was a 200% increase in retail sales online over COVID. The other thing that really resonated, the other statistic, was the fact that IE Dior had launched figures and had released them to us that demonstrated that there was a 50% uptick in the number of applications for .ie website. So that very much shows that businesses are completely focused on where they need to be, and they see the endless possibilities that online provides. And obviously we're delighted to see that, but there's also an onus on us as a representative body to bring the best insights and research so that Irish businesses who are trading online can be the best that they can be.
And what do you think is the most burning question from a representative perspective that needs to be addressed in the immediate term?
That's a real stickler of a question, David. Look, I guess right now businesses are in survival mode, and they're looking for whatever funding and supports that they can get in order to be able to sustain their business model and operations, retain staff, and so on. I think this is a kind of a funny period from that point of view. People aren't looking into the future too much. They acknowledge that they need to be online. They're putting those processes and operations in place, but they're very much focused on trying to sustain their businesses right now. And I suspect that's going to continue to the year end with a very, very strong focus on digital sales.
Absolutely. So if people want to know more, they should just head to the website, digitalbusinessireland.ie.
That's right. And also on our social channels at Digital R on Twitter. You'll find us on LinkedIn as well. We provide all our insights and research there as well. You're welcome to contact me directly, Lorraine at digitalbusiness.ie, as well, with any queries that you might have. We've lots of exciting plans for the remainder of the year. We have awards coming up. We'll have a conference next year in Croke Park. It's booked, depending on obviously social distancing requirements and public health requirements at that time, but we live in hope. And we also have a lot of really, really good partners involved with us from right across the divide. We have Sky Media, with Lewis, and we Flexify, and all of those are there, to assist businesses as best they can with the products that they provide.
Great. Well, look, hopefully you can get everyone together, just continue to help and support people. I'll post all of that link information in the post that we put on the social channels. But Lorraine, thank you so much for sharing that with us today.
It's been great. Thank you, David.
And thanks everyone for joining us again today. Just a quick update. We're going to continue to bring you these interview style bites of content. We're also hoping to go back to a kind of a meetup form as well that starts next Tuesday. So if you go to the meetup.com page, you can see that we've got a really interesting blockchain meetup with the Chainlink crew. So you can find us on the meetup page, go to our linkedin.com page. All the stuff gets posted through social. If you want to be kept informed of updates, just click like and follow. And we will see you again soon. Thanks.